Peace, love, and blessings to all. Now, this is not a prophecy. This is just something that I've noticed, and I did indeed feel that it was notable enough to bring folks' attention, especially now with things that's going on in Louisiana, where our brothers and sisters are once again, it seems, being judged one way or another by water. It is a foolish thing not to make comparisons between a lot of things that go on in New Orleans and some of the things that went on in some of the other places that were judged in the days of Noah. And so, and after. We can consider all of those times the days of Noah, I suppose. I don't know. But I think that it's interesting that we're coming up on the 11th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. And I want to thank our sister who's from down there for helping to point out certain aspects of this that I would have missed. One thing is that the storm that they're anticipating is going to become the hurricane is Hermine. Now, how many times have we talked on this channel about Gemini, the twins, also called Hermes, symbolized by the number 11. 11 is used oftentimes in numerology. I know some folks are more acquainted with different forms of numerology that have become more popularized today, although they're ancient and part of the Babylonian mystery system, by the way, such as gematria. And you can see a lot of things using gematria, but it is a bit of a trick bag, if you will, if the powers that be, through their promotion of certain things, even on the internet and through YouTube, have caused you to focus on one phenomenon more than the other. Some people are only focused on gang stalking. Some people are only focused on numerology. Some people are only focused on astrology. Some folks believe that everything that the Illuminati do can be overstood by Kabbalistic knowledge. For some folks, it's by gematria, in and of itself, a form of numerology. For some folks, it's New Age. That is the key to finding a remedy to these things. The best thing that I can say is to just be open-minded and let the Holy Spirit guide the way, and be open-minded as far as oneness with the mind of the Lord Jesus Christ, and do be diligent and staunch and vigilant about being closed-minded to certain ideas taking any root in you, okay, so that lest they bear any fruit in you. But that does not mean that you should not be aware of what the concept is about, what it means, and how the adversary uses it as a weapon against you. Now, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. So at the end of the day, we don't want to spend so much time looking at the carnal weapons or looking at the weapons of the adversary. They are indeed carnal, even when they're psychological weapons or biological weapons, okay, chemical weapons. Still, at the end of the day, our weapons are not carnal, and they are mighty for pulling down strongholds. And my intent is, to say what I believe and what I have witnessed to be effective. And so in doing, I'm not a perfect man. I may make a mistake, but I tell you what I believe. I'm not out to deceive. Okay. Now, that being said, again, I'm seeing something here with calling this thing Hermine. Okay, now let's look a little bit at Gemini and the gem. Okay, some folks are familiar with the pagan and abominable use of the gem. In its origin, it was where older men, the elders of Greek society, would take their young men, their boy toys, and train them up. Let them get in shape. Why? To be more desirable to them. And wrestling was one of the main ways that young men were encouraged to get in shape. And of course, the elder men liked to watch and coach. So here in even the origin of gym, as in gymnasium, you see this, gymnasium, talking about those things, but you see the use of duality, bisexual man, a double-minded man, unstable in all their ways. Gymnasium. Okay, now let's look some more. Also, it's just interesting to note that among those who are into the Pokemon craze that has really blown up in these last days, where they're telling Pokemon to go. In other words, they're trying to loose these little mischievous spirits, these spirits of intimidation, reporting spirits. They are not the strong men or the stronghold spirits. They really hold it down and really block the blessing of deliverance from being found by many who want to find it. But these are the spirits that are easily caught, if you will, by the overly open-minded. Folks who don't think there's nothing wrong with everything that pop culture says they should do. Or at least with the majority of what pop culture says that they should do. But let's get back here to Hermine and Hermes. So the entire fixation of the culture is to cause duality, double-mindedness. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Watch the way that they use double-mindedness during the Hermine storm that's to come. Now, also Gemini is the trickster. Again, so we're looking at the trickster spirit dealing with Hermine. Hermes is Gemini. Okay, in case that's not clear. Hermes is Gemini. Okay, Hermes is Mercury. And Hermes is the patron demon. We shouldn't call him God, even with a little g. Although, sometimes we do just for conversation's sake, but we don't give them any reverence nor fear as demons or gods with little g's. However you please. Fallen angels, indeed. It was Hermes and the crew that landed on Mount Hermon. Interestingly enough, also, there was a show called Saint Elsewhere. And where is that? Where's Elsewhere? Not here, not there. In limbo, purgatory, coming from the Catholic terminology. Okay, but Saint Elsewhere, anywhere, in between here and there. But on Mount Hermon, on Saint Elsewhere, you had a star who was named Mark Hermon. Now, perhaps also it's soon to be time for the mark after these disasters go down in Louisiana, which is Lucifer, Isi, ISI, Isis, and then Ana, ANA, which is the same thing forward and backward. Again, this is not hard. Okay, you can get this, and I believe we can hit this in about 15 minutes and have it done. So now, what happened 11 years ago was Hurricane Katrina. One thing happened was Hurricane Katrina went one way and turned the other way. Duality. Again, the spirit of Gemini or Hermes. So one thing that the body can do is to pray and ask for children and for the innocents and the chosen and the children of the Most High to be protected from this fallen angel Hermes, who is going to, this must be one of the angels that's released to allow for judgment to be done there. Now, if we look at the book of Job, which a lot of folks like to quote, but remember, Job's experience is so extreme because what we're supposed to learn from that is you can go through this much stuff and still end up 7 times better. Not so that we can commiserate with Job when we're in the midst of our misery and then, feel some sense of camaraderie with the spirit of defeat of any kind. If you come from the victim point of view, you'll never have the victor state of mind. Now, Hermes and Hermine directly related because you have a figure and a figurine. A figure is generally larger than a figurine, a small thing. And then even more specifically, a figurine can be a little doll or something, often used. And, again, we've talked about the origin of dolls before, but it's often used as a host to be infused with some sort of demonic presence. But in in general, you put "-ine" at the end of even feminine. Okay, "-ine" is to feminize something that was once male. Do you see that? Again, the Gemini, because in the example of the astrological twin of Gemini, it's one male and one female. We've said it a million times. Even Prince said, what? He said, further analysis has discovered that there are 2 people inside of me, one male, one female. He says, and one of them is female. What was the other one? So again, it has to do with the succubus and incubus spirit, sex magic worship, the first male, Aries, and the first female, Taurus, and when they come together as one, they create a demonic son, Gemini, or a pair of demonic twins, or one child that exhibits both feminine and masculine traits. A double-minded man. I have born me a man child, okay, she will say, okay, to mock Eve. Of course, the mother goddess force, entity or energy, principality, if you will, dominion, it dominates, okay, that force is to take over from the male and to mock Eve as Lilith or Jezebel, taking over from Ahab, or Lilith taking over from Adam. So now we have Hermine taking over from Hermes. It's a demon spirit. So it's neither male or female. That's what causes Charlize Theron, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, Will Smith and Jada to raise their Gwen Stefani to raise their children in this asexual way. Is little black ones and little white ones. Lucifer wants them to be gay. Either way, doesn't matter. Okay? Who was my mother and who was my brother, but those are the will of my father. So consequently, Lucifer also has the same perspective. There are many devils in action, representing every nation and every faction. That's the way that he procures a world order. He has to have agents everywhere. It's one reason why there are fraternal order members everywhere. You have black ones. Benjamin Fulford, even, in his time when folks was looking at him, and again, I'm not saying, Benjamin Fulford. No, he said some things that made me think off rip he was compromised, but neither here nor there. He was used to at least show us, those that was confused, that there are folks of the Asian persuasion who are also a part of this worldwide secret society, this worldwide secret brotherhood. It's where you get the Yakuza from. In reality, all gangs, if you go up to the top, and even the gang mentality, if you go up to the top, comes from Lucifer, whose first gang was Hermes and crew, who landed on Mount Hermon. according to the book of Enoch. So now, let's dial it back and bring it on in, bring it home again. So now we're coming up on the 11th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. I would not be surprised if we see many of the same things happening during this time of destruction by water that we saw during that time of destruction by water, which now in hindsight was a precursor. It was primitive programming. It was predictive programming because of what they knew they would do 11 years later. Now, why is 11 such a big deal to them? Aside from what I've already explained, 11 is the twin. It's twin ones. It's a twin number. That's why you see so many things happening on the 11th and the 22nd. Or 2, which is a twin. Okay, February 2nd, 2, twin. But 11 as 2, because 1 plus 1 is 2. And then 11 as 2 ones is important to the witches and warlocks, wizards, sorcerers, whatever they prefer to be called of this world, because of the fact that you have in 11 a representation of 2 ones, 2 singular entities. It's to represent the wizard or the witch or the warlock. That's one of the ones. What's the other one? Where does wizards, witches, and warlocks, Agent Smiths, and government men get their powers from? Once again, their powers come from the demon spirits within. They are only given the illusion of having power themselves. And this is enough to put most of them in a reprobate mind, or in a strong delusion, if you will, and in a deep state of confusion. And a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. And God is not the author of confusion. This is even exhibited. This was also brought to me by our sister from out that way. And we're going to bring her and her family to you all so that folks can help and pray in whatever way that the Holy Spirit so leads them. But she's also been sent out on a journey. Okay, right now we've got folks now representing every region of these United Snakes that have been called out. Okay, and again, if I've reached out to you for something, and or you reached out to me and I said I was going to get back to you and I did not get back to you as of yet, please don't allow for the spirit of offense to set in and cause for us to not be able to build whatever the Father wants us to build, or deal with each other the way that the Father wants us to. Please don't allow for that to happen. Okay, and just please hit me back. Please do. And that go for Big Nephew Drew, because I just remembered that, we didn't have a conversation that we were supposed to have. He was also sent out. So lots of different folks have been sent out now. Okay? Because of things that are on the way. Don't believe me, just watch. Okay? Now, again, on this 11th anniversary, which should be what? I believe it's the 28th, if I'm not mistaken, but it's coming up, okay? Let me look it up. I want no problem. Somebody will say I'm up to something, because I said I wasn't sure which one it was, but I'm almost certain that it is the 28th. But anyway, it's around Michael Jackson's birthday, ironically, and he was suffering from Janus, Project Janus, duality. He was duality also personified in as many ways, in some ways, as Prince. Wait a minute, no, brother. As it's 12:21 p.m. right now. So this is a sign for me to continue. Again, there's always signs all over. Now, wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign. I didn't seek after that. I just happened to look down at the time, which was able to be shown once I came out of Windows Movie Maker mode, just so I could look it up and see Hurricane Katrina, what day did it begin. And I'm almost positive that it was the 28th, which does line it up with Michael Jackson's birthday, whatever. But again, you say whatever, because Michael Jackson is known for a lot of things. One of them is his ambiguity, or his duality. Yes, indeed. Don't matter if you're black or white. It's black is why he. Okay, it says on August 29th, according to Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. Okay, maybe that's a shot thing here, and just pull it up, perhaps. But yeah, so this time, 11 years later, a similar thing is coming to the Gulf Coast. What a coincidence! That's twins, also. Yeah. You had Hurricane Katrina, and its twin would be Hurricane Hermine, which is again, they have definitions for Hermine that do not include Hermes. When you look it up, when you look up Hermine, you'll find of Germanic origin, and you'll find that it has to do with a soldier. Okay, again, Hermes was the original soldier. Folks relate Hermes to Azazel, or some folks will relate Ares to Azazel. And it's interesting too. One of our family members here, a longtime member of this church and viewer of this channel, of this ministry, of this temple. If I say church, you say he's dealing with Xerxes. Okay, just leave me alone. But they had written something to me about Hermine, and this is what turned me on to it. Okay, straight up, it was their writing that turned me on to it and made me even think of it. They were saying, "Oh, see, the god of war." After all the time he was talking about it, and it's not exactly so, because Hermine would be Mercury, which is the messenger god, but he was the messenger god, much like. You have the communications officer in the military. So he was military, indeed. And as a male god in the Greek pantheon, he would have taken after his father. Mercury would have taken after Mars, its volatile nature. Very interesting, very interesting. Okay. But now, let me tell you what they say about Hermine, the name. And again, devil is a liar and a two-time loser. Indeed. God bless you, big nephew CJ, and God bless you, Sister K. Around this way. Hermine. Meanings and history of the name Hermine. There are two possible origins of the name. It could either be a variant of the Greek name Hermione, meaning to travel. So there's the messenger. Okay, again, Mercury, the material, the metal material of Mercury. You ever broke a thermometer? That is a very strange metal. It's like liquid and metal together. So it's like liquid, one, and it's like metal, one. There's the twin aspect again, the dual nature again. Y'all gonna get this Hermes and Gemini thing down pat, because it's so important to the wizards, because they need to be twins in order for their power to take place, or for the illusion of power to take place. There has to be the wizard and there has to be the demon. Those are the twins. That's the twins. Okay, but it says that is either a variant of the Greek name Hermione, meaning to travel, or it can be a feminized version of the German name Hermann, which means soldier. So it's a soldier that travels. Okay, watch how the storm travels. If you remember, Hurricane Katrina did a very strange whip and dip. Let's see here, Hurricane Katrina. Looking for a path. A lot of windows open, so it's tripping. But okay, we just type it in. Hurricane Katrina path, if you will allow me. So yeah, okay, so the date is the 28th. Excuse me, the 29th. Okay, Hurricane Katrina path, if it'll let it come up. Oh, and also as the messenger spirit, this is one of the reasons why too there's a lot of issues with folks. Yeah, okay, here we go. With folks' machines, the machines through which you send messages. Perhaps that's going to ramp up now. I've told folks many times, start writing stuff down. I'm just looking at something that, was just recently found, really last night. Let me give credit to our fam that got it started. Let me just look here. Let me just look here and be sure who was it who got it started last night. So yeah, watch out for the things through which you get your messages and send messages. Sister Shantis, bless you. You kicked it off. Okay, you kicked the ball off, because by saying what you said, you said, so to be so obvious, the tropical storm is titled Hurricane Hermine as Hermes, but then she said Hermes, god of war, which was a bit of a Freudian slip, but even much more, it was the Holy Spirit showing the relationship. So yes, there will be war on the machines first and foremost. This will be a important first attack. Even in warfare, it's important to attack your opposition's ability to pass messages back and forth. It's one reason why in deliverance ministry we ask that the Father would bind up the reporting spirits and the retaliating spirits, bind their eyes, bind their ability to communicate one to another, bind their ability to call other demons into the area to interfere with deliverance. So this is what's going on. And yes, if folks can remember, the path to Hurricane Katrina changed drastically. It was going one way and then went another way. Again, this is symbolic of the double-mindedness, of the double mind, going both ways, or going one way and then another, or going both ways. A double-minded man, even storm, is unstable in all its ways. So now, and then even, again, the Gemini, also called the Jinn. Words that come from Gemini, Jinn, Jiminy Cricket, Jim. It would be interesting to see the names that will be involved after Hermine takes place. Okay. When I say the names that will be involved, I mean the folks that will be on camera and on the news, keeping folks confused during the time that this HAARP-generated storm is used. Now, again, this is just a observation, and this is going again to be in between the last installment, speaking about demonic harassment, and the next installment, but it is also related. If you can see how these things correlate. Why? Because one of the things, again, that Gemini, the Jinn, Janus, Jin, January. We just had the games, the Olympic Games. Where were they held? In Rio de Janeiro. Thanks to Brother Mr. Joshua, who brought that to my attention, that Janeiro, or Rio, is river, D of, and Janeiro was for January. And January is named after Janus, the two-headed deity, the Roman equivalent, or a Roman derivative of Hermes. The Greeks came before. And this dual God, this dual nature God, peace and war. Hello? Really war and war, but passive-aggressive and aggressive-aggressive. Aries and Taurus. Red, Aries, and green. Or red and blue. Yes, Earth sign. You see the Earth from outer space. I know we trust that. You see a blue thing, primarily blue. It's supposed to be 75, 80% plus water. Water is generally blue. Earth sign. It's blue and green. Earth is both the land and the water, and Earth is much more water than land. All right. Even as you look at the maps, you see the blue and the green. Okay, that's the Earth. So you have the Earth, quote unquote, or the mother goddess, symbolized by blue and green, and you have the fire or the destruction, or the male god, war, symbolized by red, Aries and Taurus. They get together, 1 and 2. Again, they also represent the twins, because if you read the lore, or the star lore, the lore of the constellations, it will tell you that there was once one constellation that split in two, and those two then became Aries and Taurus. Look it up. So here we have, again, more symbology. So that's the first sign, Aries, the second sign, Taurus, and what's the third sign? So that sun, or the war god, gets together with the moon, or the earth goddess, and they create the what? Twins, which is Gemini, or Janus, the jinn. Now, interesting also is the demon, the word for demon, if you will, in Arabic is jinn. Watch also how things will be ramped up with Iran also during this time. We just fired a warning shot at an Iranian vessel. The United States, just did that a couple days ago. And I love, God bless America. I love this land of mine. And I mean, hey, I'm just talking. I just talk and pray. I'm lightweight jamming, by the way. So that's what I think we need to just be aware of. All of those things, because they're going to run so much game right now. They're running so much game. You know, the Donald Trump and Hillary show is but a distraction. Because again, another big part of Hermes, or the energy of Hermes, and if Hermes is the principality or the dominant dominion at the time right now, then we're looking at the trickster. One of the natures or characteristics of Hermes is the tricking. Okay? Mischief, making of mischief, and a messenger. So now more than ever, you're seeing the prince of the power of the air being manifest as Hermes. Gemini happens to be an air sign. We're sending messages now through the air as opposed to writing them down, okay? Keeping them in a physical form. The messages are airborne and made of nothing but air. So now would be a time that I could see the powers that be doing something to shut down that ability to transfer messages through the air. At least making great mischief in the ability to transfer messages through the air. Doesn't that make sense? It wasn't that easy to see, you know, when, and everything I said, you'll check and you'll find a million references in pop culture that will go right along with it. Some of you may know about Harry Potter. Know anything about the character Hermine? At what age did she become a witch security officer? Age 11. Okay, it's all throughout pop culture. Okay, the Pokemon train where? In the gym, short for gymnasium, but the gym is often a what? A church. Dual nature. Because many churches have the dual nature of above ground. They act as if they, you know, worshiping the true and living Most High God. And then below ground, they're actually worshiping the false and dying. Most low. Odd. So, that being said, I believe I'm going to go. We have some things that we have to get to that's on the flow. But we will return with more on the phenomenon of demonic harassment in all of its different forms. I have been a victim. I'm not a victim. I have been a target of demonic harassment ever since I began to harass demons. Why? By the mission of the Great Commission. That's part of what you're supposed to do. Cast out devils and demons in the name of the Lord and Messiah. Now, if you do that, you begin to get attention from them. And they operate the law enforcement. They may operate your landlord. They may operate within the host of your boss at work. They operate through all the empty-headed people and through all of the automatic-minded people and through those who do not pay attention. Through all of the sleepwalking people, all of the sheeple or sleeple. They operate through them. Lest you become one, stay awoke. Don't let the Father catch you with your work undone. So now, I think that's all that I'm going to say concerning those things, by the way. Now, again, what can we do about these things? Well, if you're not aware of something, you can do nothing about it. But we have the power of using weaponry that is mighty for pulling down strongholds and strong men demons, even Hermes in them. So we want to look into, if you're into prayer warfare, and some folks say that they are, and some folks really are, then you may want to put up some prayers in the air, not amiss, but prayers, and not asking again anything that would go against the Father's will, and it is His will that wickedness is not to go unnoticed or unpunished. Okay, but we want to pray that the Father continue to cover and protect His own, okay, who may be in the midst thereof, and to help to activate and keep awake His children in the midst of this mischief making and all of the distractions that are used to keep you confused and in a state of double-mindedness. Do you have to be double-minded in order to go to work? For some folks, this is true. Do you have to be double-minded in order to go along and get along with people that surround you in school? The Father knows your plight, and He's heard your cries. And for the poor and for the needy, now He will arise. Shalom. saying?
Oh, yo.
out.